What's going on, you beautiful blessed boys and girls? We are going to fire up 6 tables here today. Just jumping into it. I have about 25 minutes or so here before my boys get home. And so just fired up another YouTube video, recorded that, and now I'm going to record this one. I got up here in table 1, 50 no limit. Looks like we're four-handed. We have 100 no limit. Sorry, 50 no limit right here on table 2, 50 no limit on table 3. We're waiting heads up. Hopefully somebody sits 50 no limit on table 4. And we have 100 no limit down here on table 5 and a 20 no limit here on table 6, just to get our tables in. Not a ton of games running. It's pretty early in the morning. So on table 1, we're just going to check back king 5 here. This hand needs some protection. I'm actually going to go ahead and just fire a small little bet, fold out some, ace 4 offsuit, things like that with some equity. With bottom pair here, he can definitely call some gut shots and some hands we're still ahead of. And here we're obviously going to start to 3-bet the ace queen. Against the big blind open, we're way ahead. We can defend. We'll just defend this one on table 2 with ace 7 suited. Flopping a gut shot, no back doors. We'll start with a check. And here we're going to pop up the 6s blind versus blind on table 6. Big leak here. I talked about this in a previous video, but I see a lot of people, and I've coached a couple guys at very small stakes, and they want to play every ace from every position. Really important fold here. Guy opens under the gun. You have ace 7 off on the button. Definitely a hand you should be folding all the time. If it's like ace 7 suited, ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited, sometimes in there, I'll definitely flatten 3-bet. But a hand like ace 7 off is just going to play pretty bad. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you've really enjoyed, had some good feedback on the previous few videos. I don't know any of these players down here on 20 and L. I'm going to go ahead and start with a small 3-bet here. And ace deuce 3, we're going to start with a small bet. Hopefully we can fold out like queen jack, queen 10, some hands like that. And it's always a good result. We get cold called here on table 6 on 20 and L when we 3-bet, and then we get called in another spot. We have the ace of hearts. We have a gut shot to the nuts. Thinking we could start with a small bet, or we could check back. Either way, probably fine. I don't want to get jammed on here by this guy. I think he calls a lot with 9s, 10s, jacks, hands like that aren't necessarily going to fold. We're going to start with a small bet up here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and check this back. Let's bank at 10. Not a great turn, but we'll see what develops. This guy doesn't like to fold a lot. And I'm actually going to go ahead and check back. With the ace queen here, we're good a decent amount of time. Don't expect to fold out any better hands. And this is crazy fold here, but I'm going to go ahead and fold the ace 10 off under the gun. He leads for $1. We have a gut shot to the nuts and an over. There's nothing to do but call here, getting a great price. I would play a jack this way. This is kind of interesting. Basically play all my like ace jacks, queen jacks this way. Problem is I don't really want to try and fold off a king. I think I could probably fold out maybe pocket 10, something like that here. If I'm going to bet, I'm going to go pot or over. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just show down my ace queen here. I don't think I win much, maybe ace 10, something like that. But we're going to go ahead and check back. Pocket 10s, maybe one I could have folded out. We pick up on table 1. Heads up here. Looks like we got some action. We're going to go ahead and bet top pair. Really good turn here. So we've got a gut shot and the flush draw. We're going to go ahead and put some heat on and put about 130% pot here. Definitely put some heat on, make him fold out all his jacks. I've got aces, I've got jacks, I've got all the ace jacks there. He's not going to have a lot of those combos, so it's a really good spot to put some heat on. You'll notice when I play heads up, I'm definitely not a heads up expert by any means, but when you start games a lot, you'll get a lot of guys sitting with like 40 big blinds here, as you can see. And you don't need to be great at heads up to beat a lot of these guys. We'll stab on the turn here with the queen high flush draw. Really good rivers. We've got the second nuts now. We're trying to get paid here by a lower flush, maybe an ace 2 pair type hand. Go ahead and fire out. We get snapped off. Pretty good result. And he called with 2 pair there. So he hit the ace. We were hoping for while we sized up a little bit. He had ace 10 there. And a lot of these guys are so passive heads up that sit with like 40 and 50 big blinds. It's very easy to play against. We're just going to go ahead and fold. So, we have bottom pair here, nothing else, and then bets. hoping to get in this 50 and L game down here. It's the only game going right now, actually, of 50 and L. It's a really good game. Looks like one good player in it. One in a possible, we'll call it, another half good player. Nothing to do here, but again, check. I hope everybody's New Year's off to a good start. I'm firing on all cylinders here. I really love the new year, man. I'm not a resolution guy, so to speak, but I think it's a great time to kind of think about your goals, think about reflect and set some other things that you want to get good at. What poker goals you guys have. So really good 3-bet spot with a tight blind and a guy that opens a lot. And 10x. Does defend a lot here, but our hand's fine. 3-bet with. Monster flop as we flop top pair here. I'm gonna go ahead and lead. It looks like this table's filling too, which is always nice. Slam dunk 3-bet here. Really good turn as we turn 2 pair down on table 4. Ace queen suited, nothing to do but 3-bet. And turning 2 pair, I'm gonna definitely size up close to pot here. Tons of draws. Only one that really gets there is 9-10. If he has 9-10, he's gonna win some money. I guess he can have Jack 8. Maybe Jack 7, something like that. But I think he can also have, Jack 10. He can have the Jack with a flush draw. So I'm going to go ahead and rip this in here in a second. And what do we got here? 3-bet here with the ace-5 off. We're just going to go ahead and fold. So important to know, yeah, we can get called and be beat here. But and he does have the 9-10. But we also beat a lot of value hands. And when I size up on the turn there and bet close to pot, I'm fine if he makes that call with the 9-10. With mine 2 pair, because again, if he just hits a 9 or a 10, I'm ripping as well. So he's going to win money when he hits that card, and I'm going to win money all the other times. So I'm okay with that result. He starts with a check, and I'm going to go ahead and check back here. It's blind versus blind. We just defended the ace 7. Really good turn. We turn the nut flush draw, and we'll definitely be starting with a bet here. Turning top pair here, we're going to go ahead and stab for a 3rd. And I think our ace high is good here a decent amount of the time. He can't have queen jack, king jack. He could have turned clubs as well. There's definitely better hands to bluff here than this. So I'm going to go ahead and check. And yeah, the ace high is going to go ahead and we're going to chop. Looks like, nope, we win. Wow, nice. Good read, Ty. Looks like this game broke, so we're going to exit that out. Fire up a new one, and I'm going to go ahead and just flat here. And we're in the 100 and L now down here. Flopping top pair here. Probably not going to add other games. We'll just keep these 5. Nothing to do here but call. He can definitely have both flush draws. We're chopping with any worse king. I think he could bet a jack for this size too. So really nothing to do but call here. And obviously open up the ace queen off. Safe river, and we'll see his size. We don't really want to see him go big here. And for a 3rd pot, really nothing to do but call. Size up a little bit on this flop. King 8 deuce favor me a little bit. And so he's betting 2nd pair there. For value, it looks like, and that's why it's an easy call when he goes 3rd pot. Don't mind his play. I'm going to open the 8-10 off, blind versus blind. And so if we're looking at this 100 and L table down here, I try and get into most of the 100 and L games that I can here. I know a few of these players pretty well, and we'll defend the cutoff open here from this guy. This is a blaster. That's my note on him. If you've got big hands, you want to check a lot. He fires. And so I'm actually going to go ahead and make a fold here as it's really hard to realize equity out of position against him. The way I really try and attack him is to just trap him quite often. Off top pair here on a 3-way club flop. We'll start with a check. And if it checks to us, we'll go ahead and bet for value here. Our hand definitely needs some protection. Would obviously bet all my flushes, but a lot of a king or an ace club hand. Need to protect our 10 here. Don't really want to get raised at all. Be really happy to just win the pot. And it's a good result. It's a really good hand. We're going to play this one. This should probably be the thumbnail in the video. Pocket aces. I learned that from Doug Polk on all his videos. Pocket aces. Always makes you want to watch. Really good result there. We win a blind. This thing about poker is they got to have something too. Would have been awesome if he had kings. Some big hand to play back at, but probably just had nothing. Queen jack suited will definitely open here. You can see I just go a little over min open. Don't think it matters that much. Some guys just straight up min raise. I kind of go for the 1.2x. And we get 3-bet. This guy's very, very tight. 3-betting me on the button, though. This hand's just really good. It'll play fine. I think he's going to 3-bet 9s, 10s, hands like that. Flop top pair. I'm going to go ahead and obviously start with a check. He can definitely still have all the kings, aces, all the bigger hands than us. He is a player that I'll trap sometimes pre, but probably not here out of position. Don't know if he knows that or not. Nothing to do here but call. Turn that's gonna favor us probably a little bit is we're gonna have all those like middling cards. If he goes big here, I expect he has no bluffs. Like if I check and he bets 17, 16, somewhere in there, I think it's just pretty much always kings, aces, some huge hand. I guess he can have like ace king of spades, ace queen of spades. It was 12 into 21. It's about 55% pot. We're gonna go ahead and peel one more and reassess on the river. Our favorite river here would be a jack. Second favorite would be a queen, obviously. Non-spade or club, but I won't be greedy. I'll just take even a jack or a queen non-spade club. It's a complete brick, so our hand was either good or not. Up to us to decide here on the river. Don't want to see him jam, to be honest. Player does not show up with a lot of bluffs. And there he goes ahead and jams. I'm supposed to just call here for sure. And I'm actually going to 3-bet the king jack off here on the 100 no limit. So it's a good regular opening into a fish. Should be opening super, super wide. So I'm going to go ahead and increase my 3-bet. And I'm actually going to lay this down. I don't think he's the kind of player. Played with him a lot. I have him noted as very tight. I don't see him running a triple barrel bluff here, even though the board's super drawy. I just don't see him doing it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this hand down. I know we don't connect here on table. We're calling it 5, but it's actually table 5. But a really good flop for our hand. I'm going to 3-bet all the big aces, queens, aces, queens. He's going to play back at all those. So we're going to start with a pretty small bet and apply some heat on this one. And again, he can definitely have ace queen. He can definitely have a lot of good hands, but he can call once here with like a lot of worse aces and give up. So we're gonna go ahead and put a bunch of heat on here. I think if I want to actually go the distance with this one, that's going to determine my size here. Or if I'm going to go one big size and give up on the river if he calls again. I think I want to go somewhere like that. And then I'm going to jam any non-heart river. I do think he can call a lot with like an ace 9 of hearts, ace 8 of hearts. And then if I jam river, I can win a lot there. So a really good result. We win, 20 big blind pot or 40 big blind pot there with king high. That's where you see like the power of 3-betting. He's going to 4-bet me with aces, queens. Honestly, a lot of ace queen suited, especially in that spot. He's a good enough player to notice, to probably know that I'm going to expand my 3-bet size because of the weaker player in the big blind. And so in those spots, you can really apply a lot of heat. It's going to be tough. Does he really want to stack off there and put in his whole stack? With a hand like ace 8 suited, ace 7, some hand like that, or even queen king, he's gonna defend a lot of the flop to see if I shut down and things like that. So you can really kind of leverage in your favor in a lot of those spots. No limping for you, sir, especially when we got pocket 10s. We're gonna raise it to 69 cents. Shout out to 69. Yeah, sometimes I act like I'm 8. We get the old limp call, the king. We got a limper under the gun, and we're gonna obviously pop this up with queens. Ace jack suited, I think I can 3-bet. This guy opens very, very wide. I'm actually just going to call. Got a weaker player behind me. A few reasons here I'm going to call. He 4-bets pretty wide. This is a really bad turn. He's never going to fold ace high now. And we're obviously going to start with a bet down here. no flush draw. We're going to go about 55, 60% pot. And I'm just going to check back here. Now, unless he has a king or a jack, we're chopping. I could check back a jack and check back a jack again. I'm going to go ahead and just rip in here. It's about 20 times pot, but I don't want to chop the pot, and I don't think he ever has any traps here. So I'm going to make him put in his stack if he wants to chop the pot and kind of leverage my position there, and we get a good result for him to fold. Down here on table, we're calling it 3 now, I guess. It was 4, but since we lost the 1. He leads into me on a turn deuce. That should mean, really weird. Maybe he's picked up, a club draw or something. I'm going to pop this up big and make him basically play for his stack. And here, a really good spot. This guy that we just fired on is now 3xing. We have aces. We're obviously going to play. Nothing to do but call here. This is probably the second best player in the game and the best player in the game. Not really trying to play massive pots with these guys. So I play pretty tried and true here. We get the guy that limped under the gun and then cold called the 4-bet. We're just going to start with a pretty big bet. We have aces. We're trying to get some money in. Not much else to say. I'm tempted to value bet the 10s up here, actually. I think I'm going to just for very small. Can't really see him checking 3 straight streets quickly like that. Now we've got the nut straight draw. We're still going to get called by ace king, ace queen, hands like that. But I'm going to go ahead and fire out 1. We'll reassess here on the turn. We're obviously going to get called a lot by jacks. I expect this player to just call a ton. Now the question is, do we want to rep a jack? Will he fold a 10? Would he check back a 10 there on the turn? The answer is yes for this player. He stays pretty balanced, does a good job. Kind of hate showing down my king high here. I also have a pretty tight image. Just trying to think what I would bet here. It's important to stay pretty balanced against these guys. A couple of thinking regs at 100 NL. He's obviously going to raise or snap off a jack no matter the size I bet. So I'm going to go for 974 here into about 15. Just trying to fold out ace queen, hands like that. And so it does the trick. It's a good result. Here we open and get 3-bet very small with ace jack suited. Really happy to continue. And here we get squeezed by a short stack with pocket 10s. And we're just going to, actually, I'm going to call and let this player call too. I'm fine to play a pot here, see a flop with 10s. And good decision not to rip it. He goes over pot here on this board. Happy to fold. Not much else to say. And I like this play, man, this short stack. I would assume he's really big here, or he has pocket kings. One of the two. Nothing I can do with 10s here, even for a super, super small bet. I'm just going to fold, especially with a player behind. And of course, I turn the 10, baby. I hope he does have pocket aces now. And we get to see it. I'll feel a little better about it. He has top 2. We would have really crushed him, man. When he leads like that for super small, I really thought he has aces or jacks a lot there, but top 2. Maybe I should peel, I guess, getting like a ridiculous price. Honestly, I don't really see that a lot, like a 1/20th pot bet, 1/18th pot bet, whatever that was. But was pretty sure we were crushed one way or the other. We got this guy playing every hand. He called the 3-bet there at the queen 5 suited, so we're just going to start with a bet here, even figuring our ace queen. Definitely good a lot of the time. But I mean, obviously, if he's calling queen 5 suited to 3-bets, he can have a deuce. He can have a lot of stuff. And min raise, we learned our lesson last time. We're going to peel. And on the 10, that should slow him down with a deuce, but obviously not a 10. Maybe all of his random stuff. Maybe just min raises, pocket 7s, doesn't know what to do there. We're just going to go ahead and give this one up and fold. I don't see players like this bluffing hardly ever when they min click it and then just continue to bet. I'm definitely most comfortable. I don't know if you can tell on this table on 100 NL. I know the players better. I know the player pool better. It's definitely kind of where I prefer to play. So I feel like I can do a lot more too. Players are a lot more capable of folding. So I do want to show some footage there. It's been nice to get a couple bluffs through here on this session down there. And those are spots that I just don't take as much on 50 NL and lower, just because I don't think guys are very capable of folding a lot of times. Here with the ace of diamonds, I would check this back without the ace of diamonds. With ace of diamonds, I'm going to start to bet small. I can even call a check raise here in position with the ace of diamonds. Don't mind betting. We turn a gut shot too. Really see no point to betting at this point now. That jack's going to hit a lot of, it's 10 jack, queen, king. All these hands are always going to continue. So we're going to check back and river a7. Close. Happy to take my showdown here. Don't think we win much. Think he shows up a lot of tens, a lot of weak kings, things like that. But hey, we do win. Sweet. That's why there's no sense in turning that into a bluff. If I show up there with a hand like 4-6 of diamonds or something, maybe a hand like that, or just some kind of weird stab at the flop, a lot more likely to bluff there. And this guy's tight. I can make a case for every single play here. Something in me just tells me to fold this one, so I'm going to do it. And obviously opening the king queen off from the cutoff. This guy that just sat here on the button is a massive nit, and I was playing a session about a week ago, and I forget the hands. Something he just kind of went crazy on a hand, and I made a big hero call against him, and he just went insane. He started open shipping on all the tables. He was on like 5 or 6 tables with me, and literally just for the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes, he open shipped and lost another 3 or 4 buy-ins. It's something that's not talked about enough in poker, but I'm definitely not the most skilled player at this point. An open limp here from the cutoff and button. I have ace 10. I'm going to pop this up to like a little over 6x. Figured to have the best hand a lot, and now we get min raised. The open limp in the cutoff. Don't see that every day. We're just going to go ahead and obviously call the min raise. And the weak player limps here at 100 and 0. We're going to complete with just, I thought we were queen 4 suited. No, we're not. Probably would have folded the queen 4 suited, to be quite honest. Or the queen 4 off. I thought we were suited. We hit nothing in check. He's got a pot size bet left. Yeah, expect him to jam it in. And maybe we fell for it. That's probably just a good thing to note, that he's open limping the cutoff with a hand he's willing to go with. Don't really see that a lot. Hope he open limps a cutoff he's ready to go with again, because now we have kings. Really good turn for us. We're going to start to bet. We can rep the king. We got the flush draw. Really good spot here is we got a lot of callers. We're going to want to thin the field here and pop it up with our kings, which almost always figures to be the best hand. This game's about to break now, and I'm actually just not going to play 3-handed with 2 of the better players. And I only have, looks like 4 minutes left. So I'm actually going to sit out. Here we get squeezed the 3rd caller. And this guy call, and we flop top set. So we're losing to ace queen, queen 9. See no real reason to slow down here. Tons of draws. And so I'm going to make a bet pretty big here. And obviously just go with it. I'm not going to fold top set. We get jammed on by the 3rd caller. Let's hope he has jack 10. He's drawing like dead. He has the flush draw. Let's see if he gets there. He hits the 4. Not good, buddy. And so a really good result there. Open the button with queen 9 off. There's one weaker player, looks like just sat. Here's a spot where I can put a lot of heat on. And if I have a really terrible hand, it's not a bad opportunity to. I'm going to check back to queen 9 here and see what develops. But I'm going to go ahead and check here. I can have every ace king is why I can go crazy here, and he really can't. He's going to 3-bet that always. So if I really want, I can just bet $7-8 here into 250 and really just win constantly. Now, if I'm going to do that with air, I need to do that with my ace kings also. Can't just be kind of face up. But with a hand like 3rd pair top kick, I'm happy to just show it down. He has top pair. And we're going to start here with a small c-bet against our guy who seems to play 100% of hands. And really good flop here as we flop 2 overs and flush draw. This guy's really, really tight. I'm going to start with a very small bet. He min raises again, and we're just going to turn a jack here and crush him. Turn a club, so it could be worse. We turn the nuts here, and he's not the kind of player that's going to bet like 9s with a club here, so I'm actually gonna just bet small again, kind of make it look like I'm afraid. We do get a call, which is always good, and it looks like we have nothing here. This is never the kind of player I'm going to bluff, so I'm happy to shut down the ace king and expect to not win very often. With the nuts here, he's never going to fold a 6. He's never going to fold a lower flush. We're just going to hope he has one of those. And go a little over pot, like 110% pot. And so the only guy sitting in this game now is the best reg. Go ahead and exit this game. And just be playing the 4. And we do get a call there, which is always nice. Always nice to get called with the nuts, especially by like a super nit in the game. He had 6-8 of hearts. Again, that's why I go 125% of pot there, because if he's got a 6, I mean, man, he's just going to be able to level himself and say, I can have a naked ace of clubs. What else am I really? I either have a flush or nothing there, basically, and I don't think some of those hands that he can have, he can just really fold much. If he's got a straight, if he's got a lower flush, he's going to pay off whether I bet 70% or whether I bet 120%. So I think that's a really big lesson to, again, you're not just thinking about your hand, you're thinking about what are the range of hands they can have that they can call with. And when you're thinking about sizing and when you're thinking about playing, millions of hands, that's the stuff that really matters, right? Like people get all like hung up about, man, my kings lost to queens, this and that. I don't really worry about that stuff. I more think about, what are my sizings? Am I getting the maximum amount? Am I, this or that? And I think in the long term, that's the stuff that really matters and determines if you're a big winner or not. We can start to raise here. I'm just going to go ahead and start the call. Obviously, pretty good flop. In position, I don't mind just calling. We've got a limp from a weaker player here, and we have ace king. We're obviously going to pop this up. And he pots it on the turn here. I think he can have a lot of 10s. It's a real good flop. So flop top 2. I'm just going to go ahead and flat, see what develops. Do you have the 7 of spades? Maybe think about repping a flush here, depending on his size. And we're going to start small here. This guy only has 32 bigs left. There's 10 bigs in the pot. We're just going to bet about 4.5 big blinds. He was big here himself. It is possible that he just, he can choose that size on the turn with a king, queen of spades, with a queen, jack of spades. Makes a lot of sense. Nothing to do here, I think, when you choose that size, except just lay my hand down. Get a call, which is always good. Obviously, queen, jack beats us. It's pretty much the only hand, I think. I can't see him having aces, kings, or 10s playing this way. Is a spade draw. We do have the ace of spades. Bet the flop because I want to keep in even like the 10 jacks and hands like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and bet 11 big blinds just to leave him with about 16 left for a nice little jam on the river. And I'm going to go ahead and sit out here, I think, next blind. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope these are valuable. I really appreciate some more feedback and comments when I just actually released the second one today. I'm probably putting one every couple weeks out of these. I had one player ask me to do sit and goes. I promise I'll do a sit and go one, although that might be funny because I am not a sit and go guy by any means. So we will see how that goes. But I promise I'll put one of those out. I'll maybe do like there's blast sit and goes, which are pretty fun. Just really quick tournaments. So maybe do that. But any more suggestions or anything that can make this better, if you're finding some value out of it, anything else you want to see, I'd be really grateful for the feedback. Also, just the comments helps the algorithm a lot. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube channel, trying to put up some poker content, mindset content, family, fatherhood, all the things I'm really interested in. Starting to build a really cool community, closing in on 5,000 subscribers. And I'm really thankful and appreciate you guys. If you haven't subbed, check out the channel. That helps us out a lot too. Give us a like. That helps out a lot too. Also, I need to mention, this is the guy that limps constantly. I am going to pay for 4 people to come out to the World Series of Poker next year. I'm going to put you up in a hotel and buy you into the Colossus. Catch that all on footage, hang out, play some cash games, maybe get a lift in, hike with me if you want to for this next World Series. The way you enter that is to comment and like these videos. You can go back and I'll link below too. I've also done 5 now. Poker roll, bankroll updates as I'm taking from 3,000 up to 100,000 is the goal. We currently are a little over 10K, man. So we're plugging along. We had a really good December. But like and comment on the videos. That's how you get entered. I'll do a live drawing here on YouTube probably around March. And we'll pick 4 winners for that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in again. All right, just for the show, I'm just going to fold. Actually, we'll flat. We'll flat and play this one last hand, see if we get in one other spot, and then we'll call it a day. I choose to flat here because the really bad player is in the big blind. He would be the target at this table. I want to bring him in, especially with a hand like ace-6 suited where I can make the nuts. you know, if he's got any other kind of stuff, he's going to tend to pay you. No sense in doing anything here but folding. All right, guys, I'm going to log off. Thanks again for tuning in. Have the best day ever. Let's go get it.